here's the next part of making these gears. You can see I've got my dividing head in the mill. I made an arbor to hold the blanks. There's the gear I'm going to cut, and there's the blank ready to go. So this is my gear, and this is the one I'm going to make for my friend. The blank's in there. I've made sure that I dialed the top of this to make sure there's no nod in the dividing head, because this dividing head is adjustable. So I've ran that in, made sure it was true to start with, dialed that in, dialed it sideways, so knocked it around, and then as you can see here there's an indicator on the blank. I had another one on this axis here, the vertical axis, so you just got to watch when you introduce a foot like this with a dead center or live center. As you bring it in to the point, you have to make sure that as you tighten this up, so if you tighten these or the hold down bolts or whatever you're going to tighten up, you need to be careful that you're not misaligned and inducing misalignment from this into this as you tighten this down. So this dial, I monitored it for movement this way, and another dial here monitoring it for movement this way as all this was adjusted up. So currently that's locked down, true to the axis of the machine in both planes, up and down as well via the four jaw. So that's true to the axis of this. The job is also true to the axis of the machine. The footstock is holding some rigidity and is also true to that center. I mean, this can be misaligned. Imagine the footstock was tilted around. That's okay, because it's a stationary point. This is a stationary point. So just making sure that everything is aligned and straight. What else I did off camera was I had this arbor that came with the Hafco. What it was a International Taper 3, which is what my spindles are, and it's just basically a big straight parallel shank that's got a through hole in it. You put a bit of high-speed steel in it and then a screw at the bottom that secures it, so it was like a really cheap boring head. So what I've done is I've machined that down in diameter to suit these involute cutters. So I had nothing basically to grab them. And then I've cut a keyway the full length inside, which is the driving element for this cutter. You can hear the rain outside coming down. Then these are ground spaces off my horizontal arbor. I have two different horizontal arbors that go in this horizontal spindle. These are just the spaces off them. Like I say, they're ground. Each face, top and bottom of each one of these is ground, precision ground parallel. So this stacked, and I just machined this big washer with a nice big solid cap screw. I'll try and get a shot under there. A cap screw that's sandwiching all this together, and the key is providing drive. So I didn't want to cut that arbor short because I don't know what I'll ever use it for in the future. So it looks a bit funny because it's so long. I've got so much stick out underneath it is pretty much what the height above the table is. So when I go to machine it, this bottom cap screw is going to be just sitting just above the table, and when that happens, the involute cutter will be in line with the blank. I'm going to climb mill because I've got ball screws in this machine. So I'm going to set up a G-code that pretty much feeds through the blank, comes out the other side, rapids back, rapids into depth, and then I will index the dividing head to the next angle and hit cycle start again. I'll be doing a 30 tooth gear on this one. It says it here somewhere. There we go, 30 at the top. I don't know if that's focused. There you go, 30. So I've had to change the sector plate on my dividing head. The chart shows for this dividing head it is 11 holes, sorry, 1 turn plus 11 holes on a 33 hole plate. So I've had to take the other plate off and put this one on. It's got 33 on it, and you can see I've got the sectors here. It's hard to see with the handle in the way. Let's move that. Here's the sectors. That's set at 11 holes. You got to remember it's actually set at 12 holes because you don't count the hole that you're in. So you start with the next one. So that the pin would be in that one. You start at that one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and that's the 11th hole down there. So the sector the sector moves freely, as you can see. Okay, so you would start off, this would be up here. The pin would be engaged in the first hole. So you would take your cut on the blank, and then the next turn, like I say, to get 30 divisions on this chuck, you would turn the sector wheel 1 full turn plus 11 holes on a 33 hole plate. So the outside one's 33 holes. So you would go, the next cut, you would go full rev plus 11 holes, which would be that hole there. I don't know if the camera can see that. There you go. And then move the sector, and there's your next 11 holes. So on your next cut, you would go a full turn plus 11 holes, lock it in, lock the pin in the hole. There it is there. Move sector plate, move sector arms, ready for your next cut. And that's about it. So we'll do that under CNC control. I've actually retrofitted this machine. A friend of mine's done some new drive electronics for me. I'm running Linux CNC on this machine now, not running Mac anymore. I'll make a separate video one day on the drive electronics and what's been done, but it's all pretty good. So there you go. So that is a DP20 30 tooth gear made out of 4140. I will stamp the number of teeth on here just like my original is, and then after I cut the rest of the gears, I've got to make a mandrel to go in there and mill a keyway in the mandrel so that we can push a broach through and cut that keyway. So that came out really nice. I'm pretty impressed with the finish on the face of the teeth, considering that tooth's just that gear tooth cutter's just a little cheapy. They come out quite nice. I put wires across. I've got a set of wire gauges, so I put wires across the two involutes, one this side, one that side, and measured the diameter across it. Compared to the original, which I don't know if this one was made properly, but I made this one off calculators on the internet to tell you how deep to make the cut, as opposed to using the wires on this one, because like I say, they churn these out by the billions, I suppose. And looking at it, this actually has a better gear tooth profile on it than what this one does, and this one is slightly shallower than this one, but I reckon that's probably, well, I know that's standard because I made it to what the standards for a DP20 30 tooth spur gear is. So I'm pretty happy with how that one came. I hardly even need to deburr it. I mean, the backside, I climb milled the whole way through. There's a couple of little burrs on there. The teeth look a bit funny, but on the front where it pulled through coming this way, I mean, you can see, I don't know how good the camera comes up, but yeah, it come up nice. You just hear the rain in the background. Hopefully you can hear me still, but anyway, that's it. That's how you make a gear. Pretty easy. Alright, see you later.